well. Okay, can you see my screen? And actually, I'm showing mathsbot.com. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay. Good. So, so I find that this is a great resource. Okay, for students. All right. So, example, we are learning. What are we learning at the moment? Can you still recall? Can you just recall again?
Sec 1.
Yeah, sec 1, but topic, like which topic? Can you just recall one of the topics we have learned so far?
HC.
Okay, so we are talking about HCF and then LCM. So if you look at all of the materials here, right? Probably I don't see the HCF and LCM just by looking at the topics here. But anyway, I think we have learned circles. So let's click into this. Okay, and what you can see is you can actually change the radius here, and you see how the, let me see. This is my first time exploring this website as well. So I think it takes some time for you to get familiar with how you can actually play with this this website. So let me just try. I don't seem to be able to get it. Okay, so given values in terms of pi, then to one decimal places, circle new values. Okay, good. So over here, I know what this one. I know how this works already. So in fact, so let's say I just choose a new values. So if you look at this, right? So if you define the radius as 30, okay, so the radius is 30 here. So in fact, the area and the circumference and the diameter, they are so-called hidden. Okay, until you click on it. If you click on the diameter, so they will show you the diameter is 60, given the radius is 30. And then if you click on C, which represents a circumference, and then I mean the circumference will be shown to you in terms of pi. So of course it depends on what's the value of pi. So if your value of pi is given as 22/7, then you will get 60 times 22/7. If your pi is 3.14, and then you will get the corresponding value. And then you click on A, the area will be shown to you. Okay, so if you want to have new values, so you just click on new values here, so you can hide all this. And in fact, I find this is a very good way for you to learn the concepts of circle. You change, in fact, you can just show another value, and then quickly you can somehow test yourself against this, so that you can actually test yourself and get yourself familiar with the concepts of circles, okay, in terms of these 4 parameters. All right, so I find this is a very good website for you to do a deep dive into, so that you will benefit more from this website. I have yet to play with this website, and I still have to explore further. All right, so I find that they have a lot of resources here which you can fully take advantage of. All right, so this website is this address. So this is a recorded video, so you don't have to take any notes. All right, so you will be given this recorded video. Okay, and you know the link already, right? Okay, so back to our work. So hopefully you get to explore it on your own further, and then probably you can let me know what you gain from it, or what interesting things, okay, what interesting things you explore. Okay, are we supposed to talk about this question? Yeah, yes, because I see a question. Are we supposed to talk about this 6 first? Yeah, I think so. Okay, good. So first question 4. Okay, nice, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. In fact, I should do a split screen, and then I want you to get involved as well. I want to make the lesson more interactive. So let me just split screen. And by the way, you can also split screen on your side if you want. Let me open homework 7 as well. Let me close it. Okay, let me split screen, and then I'm supposed to open the whiteboard. So annotate. And then if I open the whiteboard, that means I need to pause this share. Yeah, I can't share multiple screens, right? Yeah, I cannot. Yeah, okay, I cannot. All right, so the video, yeah, okay, yeah, I can only share one screen, which is the whiteboard. Okay, but anyway, never mind about it. So I want it to be more interactive, so it's good that I just write the answer here. I mean, I will write the question here. All right, so it says the map is given as the map is drawn to a scale of 1 to this 50,000. All right, and the scale is so you are supposed to express. You're supposed to the part A. You're supposed to express this into this 1 to 1 cm to n km format. Okay, so basically this question is about conversion. Okay, this question is about conversion, right? So this question wants you to convert this. Okay, the scale here is given in cm to cm format, right? So the question wants you to convert this 50k cm into km. All right, so the conversion is, so it's very simple. So cm to m first. Okay, cm to m divided by 100, so you end up with 500 m, and then m to km you divide by 1000, so you should end up with 0.5. Okay, and you get the correct answer. All right, so this kind of question should be a giveaway to you, right? So it should be a giveaway by now. The next question, they say to find the distance, okay, between 2 points on the map. Well, the map is 25 cm. Okay, good. So for this question, since you already convert this original scale into this, okay, into this 1 cm to 0.5 km. So 1 cm. So let me just write it nicely. So 1 cm to 0.5 kilometer. So right now you have 25 cm on the map. All right, so 25 cm on the map to real life. So what is the real life distance, right? So I think it's pretty easy. So 1 cm you times 25 to get 25 cm here. So therefore your 0.5 km times 25, that will give you the corresponding distance in real life in kilometers. All right, so 0.5 times 25, I guess you should be able to get 12.5 kilometer very quickly. All right, and you get the answer correct. Okay, the last part is the part that is a bit more challenging. Okay, it's a bit more challenging, but that doesn't mean you cannot do it. Okay, the last part is they give you, how do I clear this? Oh, I can clear it by doing this. Yeah. Okay, so the last part is they ask you to given the an actual area of 3.5 kilometers square. All right, and you already have what? You already have 1 cm to 0.5 kilometer. Okay, as this is the length ratio, by the way. So you have this actual area of 3.5 kilometer. The question asks you for the map area. The map area in cm square. Okay, this is what the question is asking you. So given the length ratio, right, the question wants you to find the map area. So you need to make use of the area ratio. Okay, I hope you still remember the steps. Okay, so you need to convert this length ratio into area ratio. How you do it? You just square it, right? So you square it to get area ratio. So if you make use of this, you will end up with 1 cm square to this 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25 kilometer square. Right? And then now, what you need to do, so you have this 1 cm square is actually 0.25 kilometer square. So you already have 3.5 kilometer square. So you are supposed to put it below. Okay? So given this area ratio, this is your area ratio. So given this area ratio, so you are supposed to put the 3.5 kilometers below. All right, and then you are asked to find the map area in cm square. So you just assign x to it. Okay, so how do you solve this? So you just ask yourself, can you help me out? 0.25x is equal to 3.5. So 3.5 divided by this 0.25. Yes. So x is equal to 3.5 divided by 0.25. Can you help me out with this question using a calculator? So seems like oh, your answer is in kilometer square, but actually the question wants it in square centimeter. But anyway, never mind. Let me just, what's the answer first? X is equal to, by doing this, okay, it's 14. So by the way, so in fact, they want you to express your map area in centimeter square. By the way, you should know for map area, it doesn't make sense for you to express your this 14 cm into kilometer square. Okay, remember this. Okay, remember this map area. The map is a small piece of paper, right? And then it doesn't make sense for you to convert this into kilometer square. All right, because unless you are asked to, but I don't think it makes sense to express it in kilometer square, right? Because for a map, I think the appropriate unit should be cm square. Okay, for actual area, I think the more appropriate unit will be kilometer square. But anyway, I think you have converted your this 14 into kilometer square. So how do you convert? So let me just continue. So for 14 cm square, so to convert to meter square first, so the way to do this is cm square to meter square, you divide by 100. So therefore, let me fill up with all the zeros in front of the 14 first. So divide by 10,000. So you move to the left 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be your meter square. Sorry. So let me just do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should end up here. So it's 0.0014 meter square. And then you continue this meter square to kilometer square. It's going to be crazy. 1,000, and then you need to 1,000. Okay. All right. So so you just need to move so you have 6 zeros, so you need to move to the left because you divide, so it makes the number smaller. You need to move to the left 6 decimal places. Okay, I'm going to use a different color just in case. All right. Yeah, change color. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I should get 0. How many 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0, 3, 3, 8, 14. So if you want to express this cm square, 14 cm square into kilometer square, this should be the answer you are supposed to end up with. All right. So if I look at your answer is 0.50. That doesn't make sense. Okay. You know why you make a mistake here? Why you end up with your answer is this. Your answer is 0.0000014 km meter. Do you know why you have this answer? I probably know why you end up with this answer. This is your answer. Do you know why you end up with this answer? I think you make a very common mistake. Okay. Why? Okay. I think you have no problems getting 14 cm square. But the problem is you somehow you convert from cm square to kilometer square. I think you make this mistake. What you have done is you just assume that cm square to meter square is divided by 100. And then meter square to km square is 1000. So therefore, you just move just less places to the left. All right. While what is supposed to be the conversion? Okay, because cm to m, we always talk about cm to m, right, is divided by 100. But we are now talking about what? Square. When you square, so you also need to square this factor. That's why when you square 100, you end up with 100, 100. Okay, then one more time, from meter square to kilometer square, meter to kilometer, the conversion is divided by 1000. But since you convert from meter square to kilometer square, so you need to square this as well. When you square 1000, basically you need to divide by 1000. All right, so that's why given these two conversion, divide by this and then divide by this further, and then you should end up with this. All right. All right. Okay. So while you make a mistake here, but the more important thing is you need to know the conversion between cm square, meter square, and kilometer square. This is something you need to avoid. Okay, making mistakes on, because I realized that this is not the first time you make such a mistake. Are you clear now? How do you convert area units? All right. Okay. I hope you seriously know how to convert these area units. Okay. Don't make silly mistakes like this. All right. Because when you go to Sec 1 or secondary school, I mean, if you want to score 90 plus, mistakes like this are totally avoidable, especially for you. All right. So I expect you to be the first few top students in your class once again. All right. Oh, especially in mathematics. All right. Okay. So remember, okay, next time when you do conversion, can you just write down this? So when cm to m and then km, so what you do, you just write this down to avoid making mistake. Okay. Just write this down. So if you square it, so simply you just square it. You square it. Okay, so you just write this down so that this will help you avoid making mistakes like what you did just now. Can you do it? Good. Okay, because I hope you see that even when I do conversion, I also write down the conversion factor, because I know that if I don't write them down, I will forget. Okay, I try not to put things in my mind. I try to put things on okay, over here we are putting things on a digital whiteboard. Okay, so that I don't have to put everything in my mind. Okay, because I think our mind is has limited capacity. All right, so one technique for you is try to put things down on a piece of paper or on a digital whiteboard. Try to clear the clutters from your mind. All right, so clear your mind. All right, next. Okay, question 7. Okay, question 7, okay, so you start the last question. Okay, let's look at it together. Let me go to the another clean page. Okay, the second question is you are given two numbers. Oh, by the way, they are so friendly to you. They give you the prime factorization, so you don't have to do the prime factorization yourself. All right. And the first question is ask you for the HCF. Okay, so how you do for HCF? The two tips. Can you still remember? If you can't remember, you should just go and memorize it. So shared factors. Okay, then 2 of course is lowest power. Or actually, if you cannot remember shared factors, right? Another word for shared factor is common, huh? Common factors. Okay, and in fact, you don't have to memorize already. Why? Because what this HCF stand for is highest common factor. So when they ask you for the highest common factor, it makes complete sense. The first requirement should be common factors, right? Okay, and then of course the second requirement is don't be cheated by this highest. Okay, you are supposed to find the lowest power. Okay, so for HCF is, I think it makes complete sense. The number one requirement is common factor. Okay, then number two is lowest power. Okay, so you just ask yourself, okay, between these two, okay, I think you can clearly see that 2 is common, and then 3 is also common. Okay, and then you times them together, and the next step is choose the lowest power. So over here is the power is 1, over here is 2, so you choose 1, lowest. Okay, for the 3 you have 2 here, you have 5 here, so the lowest is 2, so you end up with 2 times 9. So did they ask you for, okay, they asked you for the answer, so you have to put it, you need to put it as an answer. Okay, if you put it in this manner, basically this is called index notation, if you have forgotten. So sometimes the question wants you to put in index notation, you're supposed to give it in this format. Okay, if the question just asks you for the HCF, you're supposed to give the answer. Okay, are you clear? Okay, so next, yeah, thanks for your this return reply. All right, so part B is the smallest k, such as perfect cube. Okay, so once again, this 198k, and then you're supposed to get a perfect cube out of this 198k. So to get a perfect cube, so that means it can be cube rooted. Okay, so it can be cube rooted. So how do you do this question? Very simple. Sorry to erase your written reply. So let me change another color so that, okay, so it can be cube rooted. Whenever you do this can be cube rooted kind of question, the first step you do is, instead of putting your 198 as 198, you're supposed to put it in this prime factorization format first. So just change it to 2 times 3 to the power of 2 times 11. And then you just ask yourself one by one, one factor by one factor. So ask yourself, can you cube root 2? You can't, right? You can't cube root 2, right? So then the question is, how many 2 you need to put into this? That's why. So how many 2 you need to put into this so that this can be cube rooted, right? Then you realize that you need 2 more 2s, right? Okay, so therefore your k should have 2 more 2s. Okay, then the next one you should look at is this one. Okay, so cube root 3 to the power of 2, and you realize that you cannot cube root this 3 to the power of 2 as well. Okay, you need 1 more 3. Okay, then only you can cube root this, right? So you need 1 more 3, so your k should have 1 more 3. Okay, of course the last one, you look at it, you cube root 11, and you realize you cannot just cube root 11, you need another 2 11s, right? Okay, so therefore if you times all this additional numbers that you have to put into it, then you realize that you get 4 times 3, which is 12. 12 times 11 times 11. Oh, looks like this is a very big number. Did I make a mistake somewhere? No, I don't think so. Okay, your answer is 68. Okay, let's test your answer. Okay, so let me launch my calculator. So 68 times 198, and then equal. Okay, then you need to cube root this. Cube root 13464. Okay, cannot. It's not a perfect cube. Okay, can you see? I don't think you can see. Yeah, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if you take cube root and you do the 198 times your 68, right? You will end up with 23.789 blah blah blah. Did you misread the question? The question is perfect cube rooted. Did you misread it as square? But even the question is square. No, even if it's square, then you are still wrong. Let me show you why you are still wrong if it's square. So if okay, so next time please read the question carefully. Okay, since 198, right? Okay. So in order to be square root, so first thing first, express 198, which is 2 times 3 to the power of 2 times 11 times k. So express it in this manner first. All right, and then of course you square root one by one. So you square root the 2. Can you square root the 2? The answer is no. So your k, I mean, you should put in another 2. All right, you should put in another 2 so that it can be square rooted. So this is 1, 2 you need to put in. So k should contain a 2. Next, can you square root 3 to the power of 2? I think so, because square root and square, they are opposite to each other, so you don't have to put in another 3. All right, so ignore. Now square root 11. So obviously you cannot square root 11, right? So you need to put in an 11, right? So then you quickly can realize that you need to put in 2 and 11. So your k should contain 2 and 11, and you times them together. So in order for this whole thing to be square rooted, k, the minimum k is 22. Okay, the minimum k is 22. It's not 68. Right? I hope you understand this question by now, because this is such a common question. You'll be tested definitely during your upcoming test. So, and this is a very common question. Okay, so I have demonstrated to you how you can actually get the smallest k, integer k, so that it can be a perfect square. And of course, I have also demonstrated to you how you can actually find the smallest integer k such that it can be cube rooted. Okay, so if it's cube rooted, the answer should be 12 times 11 times 11. Okay, so for this, you can quickly use a calculator. Okay, so since you keep making this mistake, right? Now I'm going to show you a question and then work it out on the spot. I'm going to give you 972, and then the prime factorization of it is this. Okay, I'm going to test you 972 k square root and then 972 k cube root. So yeah, what is the smallest k? What's the smallest k? Smallest integer k. Okay, can you work it out on the spot? Okay, by the way, you are feel free to do it on the blank space available here. If not, You can do it. Okay, by the way, don't do trial and error. I mean, don't go and use your calculator. You need to show working. This question is a 2 marks question. You're supposed to show your working. Okay, you're supposed to show your working. So you cannot just use your calculator, keep testing. Okay, it's not going to help you. All right. Yeah, try it out. You want to do it on the digital whiteboard or you want to do it on a piece of paper? All right, okay, feel free to do it, but you need you somehow you need to show me the working. Yeah. Okay, can I ask you why you prefer the paper instead of iPad? I mean, writing on a digital whiteboard. Just curious. No, no space. I thought your iPad is super big size. Okay, okay. How come no space? Let me try to understand from your side, because when I hear when you have no space, then something is not quite right already. I'm seriously puzzled. Why no space? Because your iPad is, I don't know how many inch, but nice one. Oh, let me just, okay, it's 972 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power. Hold on, let me just read. 3 to the power 5, 3 to the power 5, 3 to the power 5. Yes. Not supposed to be the case, eh? 3 to the power 5. And then just the first question is 972k such that it can be square root. Okay, can you do it here? I think you should have plenty of space. Do you have plenty of space now? By now? Okay, good. Oh, by the way, okay, never mind. I will share with you during the break or second half. So hopefully you have so since you have plenty of space right now on this digital whiteboard, so please just do it on this digital whiteboard, please. Can you flip back? Okay. Okay. Why you want me to flip back? Is it because you want to refer to the previous answer so that you know somehow how you can get the right answer this time around? Okay. So if you need me to flip, that means you have not understood it. All right. Okay. So okay, which part you did not understand? I want to understand from your perspective. Okay, let me go through the previous question one more time. All right. Actually, it can be any question. So let me just do let me just quickly take the previous question. So yeah. Okay. Yes. So given 198 is this prime factorization. So now the question is 198 times a k so that it can be square rooted. Okay. By the way, at any point in time, if you don't understand, you should stop me. Okay. If you don't stop me, I assume that you understand. Okay. Any point in time you don't understand, stop me right away. All right. Please do it. Please. All right. I appreciate if you stop me instead of me keep repeating myself. Okay. So in order for this to be square rooted, right? The thing is you have to first express 198 into this format first. Okay, so what I've done here is I just put the 198 into the prime factorization format. Okay, nothing more than that. I just put it in this format. Do you know why I put it in this format instead? Why? Okay, they give me this doesn't mean I have to use it, right? Okay, they give me this, that I mean, you are trying to say, oh, they give me this, that means I have to use it. This is not a very, doesn't sound very right. They give it to me doesn't mean I have to use it. Okay, so why use the prime factorization? Okay, they are given doesn't mean you have to use it. Oh, by the way, yeah. So when things are given doesn't mean you have to use it. All right, please take note of this. This might be irrelevant if you have a better solution. So why you want to use this prime factorization? Any idea why? Simplify. Okay, your answer doesn't sound like you understand. Okay, let me just tell you why. Okay, so imagine you don't use the prime factorization. You don't use the prime factorization. Basically, you just use this. Okay, when you use this, okay, I think you have no way to continue. No way to continue. Okay, you can't continue further unless you use your calculator to trial and error. Okay. By the way, Yuxin's method always 198 times 10, then test. Then 198 times 11 square root equal test. Keep testing, keep testing. No, don't use this. Okay? Don't use try and error. Okay? It make you look very stupid. All right? And then it also make me look very stupid because people ask you who teach you the try and error method. Then they say, then later you say Mr. Lu. Oh, no, I don't encourage this method, try and error. Okay, no. Okay, so you have to, so since if you don't do something, since you don't do something to the 198, right, you can't continue, okay, without using the try and error, which I don't encourage. Okay, so therefore with this is the question, then it's better that you can simplify 198 into the prime factorization. You hold on a minute. I ask my, okay, good. So I want you to see that. You hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, good. So I want you to realize that 198, so you have to simplify your 198 into all the prime factorization. Okay, so when you get it into prime factorization, right, then you can do this. When you get it into the prime factorization format, then you can clearly see that, hey, in order to square root the 2, the 3 to the power of 2, and the 11, so can I do it or not? Okay, so that's why I say you ask yourself, can you square root the 2 or not? Can you square root the 2? Ask yourself. 1 times 1 equals to 1. So what do you want to say? No. Okay. So, okay, in fact, the answer is you can square root the 2, but you will not end up with a whole number. Okay. So square root 2 is an irrational number. Square root 2 is an irrational number. we have learned about irrational number. So what are irrational number? Irrational number means 1 point non-stop. This is not what you want. Okay. Because they want you to end up with a number that can be square rooted. Can be square rooted means whole number. Okay. Perfect. So the word perfect square or can be square rooted. Okay, they mean that these two statements, they both mean that your answer must be whole number. Okay, so if you end up with an irrational number, no. Okay, cannot. So if you just pick the two out, you test each. So basically, you test all this. So you test this, you test this 2, you test this 3 square, you test this 11. Okay, and then first you test the 2 first. You cannot square root the 2 and end up with a whole number. So therefore, you need to ask yourself, can I put in a 2 into this so that it can be square rooted? So if I put in a 2, so what do you think? Can it be square rooted? I think so, right? So if it can be square rooted after putting in just 1, 2, then your k must have a 2. Okay, then the next step is, so because you have already done for the 2, right? So basically this one short of a 2, so you give it a 2. Okay, now then you test for the second factor or the second prime number inside this 2 times 3 square times 11. So the next one is this one. Can you see? Can you see the arrow? I have come to this arrow. So you just square root 3 to the power of 2. So can you square root 3 to the power of 2 or not? The answer is yes. So the answer is yes. So do you need to give it a 3? Do you need to give a 3 or not into this? If it can be square rooted, do you need to give or not? Yes or no? Do you need to give a 3 into this? Okay, you give it a 3. If you give it a 3, can it be square rooted or not? Yes or no? No. So yeah, by giving it a 3, it doesn't help. By giving it a 3, it doesn't help. Okay, you never give it a 3, it helps. Then how? Give or don't give? Give or don't give? Plus 3. What are you talking about? I'm saying you don't give it a 3, it can be square rooted. Okay, you give it a 3, it cannot be square rooted. So give or don't give? No. So don't give. So you don't give. Because you don't give it, the job is done already. Why do extra? Right? You understand? So since this will end up with 3, so 3 is a whole number, right? So if 3 is a whole number, job done. Job done. So if the job is done without doing anything, then don't do anything, right? So you don't have to add any, you don't have to put in any 3 into it. So your k has no 3. Okay, so I'm done with the second. So I'm done with the 2, I'm done with the 3. Okay, now comes to the last one, the last arrow, which is square root 11. Very clear cut. Can you square root 11? The answer is no. Right? So if the answer is no, then Give 111 first. Always start with 1, then another 11. So keep testing. Okay, so give another 11, so times 11. So can you square root this now? I think so. If you square root 11 times 11, you will end up with 11. So by giving it 111 is good enough. Okay, so your K should have a 11 as well. So you put in a 2, y2 or y question mark y2. Just now, the first step, I test this. The first step I test this one you end up with what? You okay means what? You understood it already or what? Okay, so you now you know why your K should have a 2 and 11, right? Because if you don't give it a 2, you cannot square root the 2. You don't give it a 11, you cannot square root the 11. Okay, you never give it a 3 because you can square root this 3 to the power of 2. Okay, so that's why the smallest K is 22. Before this whole thing can be perfect square. Okay, so you understand now? By the way, these you have to understand this before you can do the part C later on. Okay, so with this understanding, now I'm going to test you on. Okay, I'm talking about square root here, right? So what if I change this question to cube root? So how are you going to answer this question? Good that you don't understand, so that we explain it slowly. All right. So it's okay that we slow down, but as long as you, but I just want to make sure you understand all. Okay. It's okay that we slow down. Okay. 2 times 3 squared times 11. 2 times 3 squared times 11. By the way, don't feel shy if you don't understand anything, because we are talking about set 1 materials, and you're not supposed to know set 1 materials while you are still in P6. All right, don't stretch yourself too much. Okay, don't pressurize yourself too much. Okay, if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's actually it's quite okay if you don't know during our lessons. Okay, you just have to make sure that you know during the exams. Okay, you make all the mistakes during our lessons, right? So given this question, given this prime factorization, what if I change to cube, and then what is the smallest K? Okay, so that this can be cube rooted. By the way, it must be integer. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So I hope you have enough space below for you to do this question. Yeah, you can do it on this digital whiteboard. Please do it on a digital whiteboard, right? Are you ready? I don't see any response on this digital whiteboard. Is everything okay? Yeah, good. Okay, good. Please do it. Yeah, thanks. If you write like this, I'm not sure if you have enough space already. Okay, please. Yeah, please manage the space. I think if you have done enough, right? I think the answer is the answer is pretty clear cut. You just look at it, you know that K is, I mean, the 198 is short of what? Then your K must have what? You know, that kind of thing. Okay, go ahead. You have stopped already. Why? Still cannot. Why you go and do the 3 first? I thought you should start with the 2, then next is, so start with the 2 first, 3 second, and then this is third. Unless you are telling me the 2 is okay lah. I mean, it's good enough. You don't have to do anything. Or you think the 2 is okay? Oh, okay. So can you cube root the 2 or not? Well, you cannot cube root the 2, then that means you have to do something to the 2 lah. I mean, you need to give it more 2 lah. Right? Does it make sense or not? Okay. So you need to approach it. Okay. You need to approach it in an organized manner, you know. You cannot jump to 3 or you can jump to 11. I mean, at this stage, you cannot. Okay, so you better follow the order. I don't know. I don't know for 2. No, you ask yourself. Can you cube root the 2? You can use your calculator. That's why I wrote this as my first step. So you cannot, right? Not whole number. So not whole number. So that means when you don't add up with a whole number, that means this cannot be cube rooted. Cannot be cube rooted because the entire objective, right, is can be cube rooted. In this case, it's cube rooted. Just now it's square rooted. So the entire objective is can be cube rooted. Okay, so this cannot be cube rooted, right? So not whole number, that means cannot be cube rooted. So it cannot be cube rooted. So you need to ask yourself, give a 2, see if it works. So give a 2. So let me give it a 2. Still cannot. Give one more. Give until it can be cube rooted. So I hope you realize after giving it 2 2s, then you end up with a nice whole number. That means it can be cube rooted. So therefore, your K has 2 2s. Then you are done with the first 2 already. Then you go to the 3 to the power of 2. Does it make sense to you now? Okay, good. Yep. So I leave it to you. I already start with the 2 for you. So just continue with this part. Yeah, you can continue from here. Then later you erase, then do the 11. So I already have given you a very good head start. Huh? You are still doing the 2? I thought you are supposed to do the 3 to the power of 2. This over here. So you give it 3. So it works. So you give it a 3 and it works already. So 1 3 is enough. So your K should have 1 3. So you just times the 3. Yeah, good. So now you jump to the cube root 11. So you have given it 2. Yes. Okay. So in fact, so all your these 2 times 2 times 3 times 11, all this, right? So the K is this number. Okay. And this number, so you just have to use your calculator. Just have to use your calculator and just figure out this. Yeah. Okay. So that's how you can get the K such that it can be cube rooted. Okay. So okay. So like I say, you need some workout on your own. Okay. So besides purely listening to me, you need some workout together with me, right? So that you know what to do. All right. If not, by listening purely, I think you have a hard time understanding. Okay. So with this, so now let's take a look at this question. If you can manage to do this question, I think you are good. Okay, that means you have understood it. Okay, this 972, given the prime factorization is this. So what's the smallest K? So the question is, what's the smallest K? Once again, what is the smallest integer K? Okay, such that it can be square rooted, huh? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, I pass the baton to you. Your turn to demonstrate. Oh, by the way, you need to have a K here, yeah. Yeah, continue. So how you start? So you give it a 3. So by giving it just 1 3, it helps already. If it helps already, then the smallest case is 3. Okay, good. So can I ask you why? Why didn't you give it any 2? Why no 2? Exactly. All right. So basically, this thing can be square rooted, and then by giving it 1 3, then this one can be square rooted. Then good enough. So the answer is 3. Yeah, that's why your k is 3. Can you see? All right. Okay. So that's how you get the smallest integer k. All right. So please remember this technique, and this question is a very common question. Okay, if other students cannot do it, I hope you can do it. Okay, let's move on to the more interesting question. Okay, the more interesting question is this. Let me choose. Okay, good. So more interesting, it says the smallest positive integer n such that 198n is a multiple of 972. Okay, similar concept used here. Okay, so given the 198, the prime factorization is this. You have to use the prime factorization. Okay, given this, so what you do is the smallest positive integer kn such that it's a multiple. So okay, the meaning of this thing, right, is this 198n is equal to 972 times something. Okay, this something, right, can be 1, can be 2, can be 3, can be 4. Actually, the smallest the better, because the smallest integer n. So that means you need to find out this n. So how do you do it? So you put 198n over 972. Okay. So as long as this this whole thing, it gives you a whole number. Okay. Can you see that this whole thing ultimately actually convert to this format? Because ultimately you are supposed to find this question mark. So how do you find question mark? Question mark is this thing divided by this. So I have just formed this. Can you notice? So far so good. Okay, good. So if you understand by now, so my question to you is, once you form this thing already, it should give you a whole number. So instead of playing with the 198 and 972, you are supposed to give it in their prime factorization. And I tell you why. Okay, I put 198 into the prime factorization times n. Okay, times n. 972 prime factorization. I think this one looks familiar to you. So it must be a whole number. Okay, it means this whole thing ultimately should end up with a whole number. And then the n is the number that you need to fill in. But before you know the n, just ask yourself, 2 and 2 square here. So you will divide by a 2 both top and bottom, and you should end up with a 2 here. So you do simplification first. Okay, so you end up with a 2. 2 and 2, you simplify it as 2 below. And you have a 3 to the power of 2 here, and then you have a 3 to the power of 5 here. So that means you have 2 3s on top, you have 5 3s below. So if you do cancellation, you end up with 3 3s below. So far so good. So far, so good. So after all your cancellation, right? Then you realize that you end up with what? You will end up with this thing. Then of course, then you have to solve further. But I want you to realize that you should end up with this 11n. Let me just tidy up a little bit. 11 times n divided by my 2 times 3 to the power 3. So now what? So what is your this n? What is your this n such that you get a whole number? Can you make a guess? So in order to be basically in order to get a whole number, right? Get a whole number. So what is the smallest? They want the smallest. So what is the smallest you can get? 1, right? So how do you get 1? If you want to get 1, I don't think you can get 1 because there's no way you can get 1 if the n is a positive number. So the question you ask yourself is, to get a whole number here, right? You need to get rid of the denominator. Why? Because let me show you one example. If you have 2 times 3 times 5, now you have a 7. In order to get a whole number, you know what you need to do? You times a 7 here so that you cancel the 7. Okay? Once you cancel the 7, you will end up with a whole number. If you don't cancel a 7, let's say you have a 7 below, you don't have any 7 here, there's no way you can get a whole number. Right? Because this 7, right? You just read 2 divided by 7. No, you don't end up with a whole number. Okay? Test 3 divided by 7. No, you don't end up with a whole number. 5 divided by 7. You don't end up with a whole number. So the only way you can end up with a whole number is you give it a 7, so that this 7 will cancel this 7. Then only you will end up with a whole number. So similarly, okay, similarly, use the same trick. This whole thing, how you don't have any 2 here anymore, but you still have a 2 in the denominator. You don't have a 3 anymore above. You still have a 3 to the power 3 here. So in order to get rid of the entire denominator, you're supposed to have 2 times 3 to the power 3 above, so that you can get rid of it, right? So that means the smallest n is this one, which is n equals to 2 times 3 to the power 3 is 27, so it's 54. Okay, I will tell you this question is a bit complicated because you are still thinking in your P6 brain. Yeah. So what do you think? Set 1 materials. What do you think? Okay, but not. Okay, so you know what is the meaning of okay but not okay? Hard. Okay, it's hard. And by the way, we are only talking about the first topic. Okay, we're talking about only the first topic. Okay, anyway, I hope that you feel a bit brain burn. Okay, so when you feel a bit brain burn, that means you are learning things. You are learning new things. If you don't feel any heat in your brain now, you're not learning at all. What's the point of teaching you 1 + 1 every single time? What is the point of teaching you each number total table method all the time? You don't learn a single thing. Okay, so by doing this kind of work, you feel a bit of brain burn, you're learning. Okay, all right, so let me give you another example so that you understand this much better. So like I say just now, if you have 2 times 3 times 5, and then you have a 3 to the power 2 times 11, right? Okay, so the first thing you do is, now they say times a n, so that you end up with a whole number. All right, so the first thing you do is simplify when you can simplify. So if you simplify, you will see that you leave a 3 below, so just erase it. So I'm not supposed to erase the 2 because there is no 2 here for me to delete, so I will end up with this. So once I've simplified, the question I ask myself is, what do I need to cancel this whole thing in the denominator? And then I realize the n should have 3 plus 11 so that I can delete this whole thing. So my n is 33 in order for me to reach a whole number. Okay, so this is a simpler question than just now. So I'm going to give you another question now. Are you clear before I give you the question? Because okay, good. Because I need you to do the question. So are you ready for set one, which is just, wow, this is 20th already, 2 weeks away. Okay, 2 weeks away. You have to be ready anyway. In fact, I don't know why Yuxin is so hyper excited. Okay, she wants to reach set one ASAP. All right, so you should embrace changes, and of course embrace the difficulties ahead. Okay, let me give you another question. Okay, I'm going to give you, she already okay, this, she already has a school, right? Doesn't matter. She still face the same set one materials later on, just like you. Okay, by the way. Okay, don't have to. Worry. By the way, you also don't need to worry about your school, right? Your choice 1 to 6, definitely you get into one of them, right? And by the way, I can guarantee you, if you get into one of your this 1 to 6, right, the materials you study and the materials you study is going to be the same. Okay, I'm afraid that you learn more than her, by the way. I'm afraid. Okay, that means the two of you should learn the same things. I don't understand. You still don't understand this part? You're saying? Yeah, you still understand. You still don't understand this part. Okay, good. Never mind. I'm going to explain to you one more time. Okay, good. So seems like this is a tough nut to crack. Okay, it's okay. If you don't understand, it's okay, because I really think this is set one materials is going to be hard. Okay, we have to embrace this is hard stuff. Okay, so I want you to put in more efforts. Okay, by the way, we are only 2 weeks away. Okay, 2 weeks away. And like I say, whichever school you end up in, one of the 6 choices, you end up in a very, very good schools. And the materials you're going to study is going to be the same as Yuxing. All right. I don't think there is a very big difference between the two of you. All right. And I'm afraid that you learn more than Yuxing, by the way. All right. So there is no difference. I need to demonstrate to you with another question. Okay. Let's say if I have 216, I also have 70. Okay, so the first thing you do is you do the prime factorization first. Okay, for both. So 70 is 2 times. Okay, let me just quickly do it. So in a way, I'm also teaching you how you can, or I revise for you how you can actually do prime factorization. 35, 108. Then 5 cannot, 7 cannot really. Okay, so 5 I end up with 7. Then I will continue from here. I do it the lazy way, 554, and then 7, then 3, 9, okay, 3, 3. Okay, good. So I do it the lazy way, so you don't do it my way. So this is the prime factorization. then this is the prime factorization. All right. So just double check once again. So you have to make sure that your prime factorization is correct. Otherwise, whatever you get after this, they're all wrong if your this part is wrong. So in set 1, right, if your part A is wrong, your part B, part C most likely are wrong already because domino effect. Okay, so one very important tips for you is make sure that your part A is correct so that your mistake will not affect the rest. All right, so okay, good, done. So prime factorization is this. So now the question is, what is the smallest positive n such that 70n is a multiple of 216? Okay, so once again, what's the meaning of this? So if you just go according to this English statement, times n, okay, you use their word. Okay, so it's 70n. Good that you attempt to write something. Very good, continue. So it's 70n equal 216 times something, and this something is can be 1, can be 2, can be 3. All right, so you don't know, you just put a block. So now the question is how you get this block. So you get this block by doing 70n divided by 216, right? So that's how you end up with this format, 70n divided by 216. So far so good. So far so good. You must be able to reach this step 1. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, good. So let me just erase this. So the step 1 is important. So you must get into this format. Okay. Once you get into this format, right? So instead of writing the 70, instead of writing the 216, what you need to do, please express them in the prime factorization format, because you are going to see things clearly. I get it from this. Okay, so now I already put them in prime factorization format, or I put them in the building blocks. Okay, so now once you end up with this, the first thing you can do is if you see opportunity to simplify, you simplify first. So I see a 2 here, and then I also see 3 2s here. So I cancel 1 2 both top and bottom. So I end up with 2 to the power of 2 below. Can you see this? Okay, good. Then erase. Okay, good. So now this is the simplest format already. Okay, this is the simple format. Now the question is, how do you get this into whole number? So that means your n, what is your n? So that this whole thing is a whole number. So what's your n? So that this whole thing is a whole number. So in order for this whole thing to be a whole number, right, you need to get rid of the denominator. Okay, so in order to get rid of the denominator, so your n, so you see no opportunity to simplify anymore. So that means your n should have this. So that means your n should be this, so that you can get rid of the denominator, and then you end up with a whole number. Does it make sense to you now? Does it make sense to you? I don't see any written response. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so your n is 4 times 3 to the power 381, so it's 324 for this question. All right. Okay, so like I say, things are going to be pretty hard, okay, in set 1. So that's why a lot of students, they from P6 to set 1, they somehow struggle in the beginning. Okay, that's why it makes sense for us to start early. All right, especially mathematics. All right. Okay, so before your brain gets brain drain, so I want you to take a 5 minute break, and we come back, and you take a 5 minute break, toilet break, water break, rest your mind, come back in 5 minutes. All right. All right, I'm back. Okay, so I was talking about how I had something to share with you during the break. I mean, during the first half of our lesson, right? So actually, you can actually unmute yourself. So what I'm trying to say is, in fact, in the past, I think you use your laptop to have Zoom lessons with me, right? Am I right? Okay, it's good to see you shake your this yeah, you shake your this uh iPad to acknowledge. Okay, so in fact, right now you're using an iPad. Okay, so now, just now you were complaining about your iPad has not enough space for you to write on. Okay, I think I somehow can actually understand you, because I think you need to see my face. I mean, you need to see my camera, and then my camera, of course, takes up a bit of your this real estate on your screen, and then of course, and then the whiteboard, and then of course plus many other things. So in fact, you can actually use your laptop to do Zoom with me, but you can connect your iPad to your laptop so that your iPad is going to be your writing pad to your laptop. Okay. In fact, I have a video. I'm going to show you after this lesson. I'm going to share with you a video how you can actually connect your iPad to your laptop. So your laptop is for you to see my face, okay, and then your iPad is for you to write. So you have much more real estate. Okay. So in fact, I also taught using how to connect his iPad to the laptop if she wants. Okay, so this is something I want to share with you. All right, and by the way, I'm actually connecting my iPad to my laptop so that I can write. Okay, I don't have a Apple Pencil, but I can somehow write on it. Okay, so I will share the link with you. Just go and take a look at the about, I think, a 5-minute video, and then that's how you can connect. Right? Good. So we have to, by the way, you don't have to use a cable to connect your iPad to your laptop. You can do it wirelessly. But anyway, you look at the video, you will know what to do. Okay. Okay. So, okay, let me just share the whiteboard once again. Okay. Do you still have problems with this question? This kind of question, yeah. No. Okay, I hope you seriously don't have any more questions. Okay, but anyway, I feel that I can feel that this kind of question is slightly harder, okay, compared to your P6. Okay, so just embrace the difficulties ahead, and then we'll try to find a way. Right? Don't worry, I will be guiding you along. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. Okay, the next question I find is super easy, so I'm not going to talk about it. Like, what 30 students working 7 hours a day complete project? This is super easy. But this question I want to talk about is the round off question, because I think Yuxing also make some mistake during this while doing this kind of question. So they say 6.93 over 0.05039 to one significant figure. Okay, so what I want you to do for this question is, there are two types of such question, and then you need to solve them differently. Okay, this is the first type. So they just ask you this one, okay, to one significant figure. What is the meaning of this? You need to first figure out what is this first. Okay, figure out what is this first using a calculator. Okay, good. So using a calculator. So I'm going to launch my calculator. So let me double check your answer also. Divide by 0.05029. Okay, by the way, you end up with 5495.7. 0.5495.73 blah 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 blah. How come your answer is 4,000? I don't know how you get one. I don't know how you get 4,000. Because if you get this, right? If you get this using a calculator, you should end up with this. Okay, and then to one significant figure, then you ask yourself, this is your first significant figure, this is your second, then you just ask yourself, round up or round down. So 4, round down, so you should end up with 5,000 instead. Okay, for this question. Okay, then there is another way to look at this question. Okay, I hope you don't confuse. Okay, so another way to do this question is, the question is different. Okay, the question will be rephrased in this manner: 276.93 over 0.05039. Okay, estimate by using one significant figure to each value or number. Okay, so if they ask you to estimate by using one significant to each number, so this question wants you to do what? This question wants you to take this one significant figure, this, take this one significant figure, this, then you get the answer. Okay, so how you are going to do this? One significant figure for this is your first significant figure, this is your second. So 7 is round up, so you end up with 300. Okay, and then for the below one, 0.05039. So this is not the first, this is not the first, this is your first, because the first must be non-zero, right? So you end up with 0.05 here. All right, then if you use this method, you should end up with 6,000, right? Okay, but somehow I don't know how you get 4,000. Okay, if you use this method, approximation method, you will get 6,000. If you use this approximation method, you will end up with 5,000. I don't know how you get 4,000. But do you know the two types of approximation method and when you use which? But you still don't know. So you don't know when you should use which one? No, you don't know. Okay, good. It depends on the question, how the question is phrased to you or structured to you. So I can give you any type of question. Okay, let's say you are given this question. Okay, there are two ways to ask you. Okay, number one, estimate this thing using let me double check the question. Okay, estimate. Hold on, let me just estimate the value. Estimate the value of, yes, the value of this thing using one significant figure. Okay, so can you see that basically they want you to estimate the value of this whole thing? So that means they want you to estimate the answer from this using one significant figure. So just estimate the answer using one significant figure. So get the answer first. Get the answer. Okay, then one significant figure. Okay, so what I need to do, let me use the calculator to figure out this. So use the calculator. 5.01 times 2.1 divide by 4.79 times 5.1. Can you help me out with your calculator? So I want to get the answer first. I want to get the answer for this one first. Can you help me out? Get the answer for this one first. So what's the answer first? You can write it down here, yeah. Since you can write. Yeah. Using, okay. No need to divide by this. Just give me the, no, this is fraction. Just give me in, I don't need fraction because when you use one significant figure, you are supposed to give me either in whole number, you need to give me in decimal number already. Can you just give me the answer in decimal number? Yeah, 0.4. What? 43. Yeah, okay, good. So if you get 0.430, right? So of course, right? So the next thing you do is ask yourself, where's the first decimal number? Where's the first significant figure? 0 is not. So this is your first. This is your second, right? So 3 is round down. So the answer is 0.4 for this question. Okay. So the answer is 0.4. Okay. So far so good. So estimate the value of this whole thing using one significance. That means estimate the answer using one significant. So that means get the answer first, then use the one significant figure. Okay, so this type of question. Next, same question. I mean, same numbers, okay, but different questions, phrased differently. Estimate. Okay, estimate using one significant figure to each number or value. So can you see? They ask you to estimate this whole thing using one significant to each. So that means each of this, you're going to do one significant figure. So you have to do one significant to 5.01 first. So 5.01, one significant figure is 5. 2 by 1, one significant is 2. For this, 5. For this one, 5. So 5 times 2 on top, 10. 5 times 5 below, 25. So 10 divided by 25, divided by 5, 2, divided by 5, 5, 0.4. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? Okay, good. So, okay, we talk about, then you must be wondering, why do I have to know the first type versus the second type? The first type is answer first, approximate second. Then the second type is approximate first. Approximate first. Then answer, yeah. Okay. So the answer no need to do one significant figure already. Okay. So this first type and second type, right? They are both approximation method. Approximation method. Okay. So for the second type, right? I think you don't need a calculator. Okay, you don't need a calculator. You can see. Okay, you can see I never use a calculator. I can just figure it out manually. Okay, for the first type here, you need to use a calculator. Okay, for the first type here, for the first type, right, you need to get the answer first out of this. For the first type, you need to get the answer out of this first. So you need to use a calculator. Then after that, you apply the one significant to the answer. Okay, so so for me, there are just two different ways to ask you to use the approximation method. Okay, there is no right or wrong. There is no better or worse. Okay, but I will say the second type is faster. And then of course, no calculator needed. Okay, and then this is slower. Calculator needed. When I say slower doesn't mean no good. Faster doesn't mean good. Okay, it just it depends which paper you are doing. Okay, like I think paper one, I think in P6 paper one calculator is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed, right? Even in P6, right? Am I right? For P6 paper one calculator is not allowed, right? Am I right? If I'm right, please do a tick. No need to say yes, right? Next time just do a tick. Okay, good. So if P1, I mean during your P6 paper one calculator is not allowed, so it makes sense for you to. So if now I tell you set one also have this rule where paper one calculator is not allowed. So when calculator is not allowed, so when you face the question just now, do you think you will use this method? No, you cannot. Not only you cannot, I also cannot. You ask me to do this question, okay, without a calculator, I can but it takes so much time. Imagine I need to do all this. Then after that I will get the numerator. Then I still have to do the denominator. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so for paper one, so I think most likely they will test you the type 2. They will test you type 2, second type. Okay, paper one. This is more like a paper 2. Okay, so for paper one, so you cannot use a calculator, and they know you cannot use a calculator, so they want you to approximate first and then answer. Okay, all right. Okay, so but for just now the question, I tried the first type and the second type, and you're not supposed to end up with 4,000. You're supposed to end up with 5,000 and then 6,000. Okay, yeah, 5,000 and 6,000 by either type. Okay, so yeah, make a mistake somewhere. All right. Okay, next, this LCD. Okay, by the way, this question is a real life example, and then real life plus a percentage. Okay, we just create another one. So it says LCD is 5280. Wow, these days LCD. Okay, which year was this? LCD TV cost you $5,000. I just bought a TV. Okay, I think it's an LCD. Better than LCD. It cost me 43-inch. It cost me only 500. So look at how much we have progressed. Okay, how much we have progressed. The cost savings in technology. Okay, you get a better deal. And it costs you less. Okay, so this is something for you to think about. All right, the cost savings, and then the better qualities you can get at a cheaper price. Okay. Okay, good. So for LCD TV many years ago, 5280, super expensive. Wow, 5280. I think even the Apple TV and then Apple computer, the best Apple computer also never cost you this much. Okay, so it says after offering a 12% discount. How I will do this kind of question, I will always start with this is the original price, OP, original price. So discount, and then this is the after. That means after the discount, okay? In this case, after discount. So original, definitely you start with 100%, discount 12%. So after discount means minus, go down, right? You pay less. So that's why 100% minus the 12%. So you end up with 88%. Okay, so I always build I don't call this a table, but you can see it as a table. Okay, but I will build something like a table for myself. Okay, this row is for percentage, and then of course next, let me read it. So 5280, this one is after discount. So 5280 is under 88%, right? The question asks, the shop is still able to make a profit of 5%, so we don't care about this. So before discount, that means we are supposed to find 100%, right? So what is 100%? Well, 88% is 5280, right? So pretty simple. You just take 5280 divided by 88, right? Find out what's 1%, then times 100. Okay. So I'm going to launch my calculator here. So 5280 divided by 88 times 1000. 100, sorry. Okay, yes, the answer is 6000. You get it right? Okay, so with this 6000, this is before the discount. That means the original price. Okay, get it right. So it says the cost price of the TV. So this is after making, even after giving a discount, still make a profit of 5%. So what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is simple. I build another table. I build another table. So 5280. This one is after making a profit, a 5% profit. Okay, so it means cost, profit, then this is after profit. So if cost is 100%, profit is 5%, after profit will be 105%. 105% is 5280. So what they want? They want the price. They want the cost. So that means I'm supposed to get this question mark. So very simple. 5280 is my 105%. And when I divide by 105, so I will get 1%, and then later I times 100. Okay. So let me launch my calculator quickly and figure this equation out. So it's 5280 divided by 105 times 100. So 502857. Yeah. By the way, I think you have done a pretty good job, but for dollars, you should give 2 decimal places instead of 5028. I cannot really read what is the one what over 7. I cannot read what it. Okay, so you write something like this, probably 1 over 7 or 4 over 7. Yeah, I can read it already. So you're not supposed to express your answer in this manner. I know this is okay. By the way, this is the most exact. Okay, I applaud you for your efforts to give me the most exact value. But remember, when it comes to money matters, you don't want to give the most exact. Okay, you want to give it in 2 decimal places. Okay, this rule still holds in secondary school. Okay, so yeah, just take note of this. Okay, the one that I want to talk about. Did I talk about this currency exchange? Question 10. 有吗? No. Okay, good. Currency. So, okay. By the way, so let's not talk about this question first. Let's talk about the current currency exchange first. Okay. SGD, 1 SGD. Okay. So for this question, let me just, instead of using this, let me just go to a website so that we can do things together. So let's be more updated. Okay. Let's be more updated these days. Okay, you want to see SGD to yuan, right? Yeah, I also want to take a look. Okay, this is the latest. Can you see 4.616? 1 Singapore dollars is 4.66 Chinese yuan. Okay, so let's take note of this because I need to use this to figure out something later. Can you make a guess? when did you come to Singapore? 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, let's make it 3 years ago. Can you remember 3 years ago? What's the currency rate? 2019, yeah. 2 plus, okay. Let's take 2019. Can you remember the exchange rate then? So this exchange rate is now. No. Okay, so you know we can actually check it out online once again. So this rate is now. Okay, so let's see 2019. Can you see? This is 1 month, 1 year, 5 year. So 2019, let's pick the first gen of 2019, okay? It's somewhere here. Can you see? This is 5.05 5th Jan 2019. Can you see it now? About $5. Okay, let's take it as 1 SGD to $5. Okay, can you see this? Cannot. If you cannot, never mind. I teach you how to read. Okay, because I'm going to make it more interesting. And by the way, this concept, they play with the concept of proportionality. Or in another way, you can also say this is also rate. Okay, let me clear your this. Okay, good. So how do you read is this? Can you see the date is this? And then it's 5.05. Okay, so let me just tidy up a little bit. So the 1 SGD to 4.66 yuan now. So last time, this is now 2021, almost the end of 2021 already. So 1 SGD to, let me make it easier, 5. I don't want to play with difficult numbers. Okay, I just want to let you know how to convert. Okay, I don't want to play with 5.029, you know, that kind of very hard numbers. Okay, so this is yuan, this is 2019. Okay, good. So based on these two rates, right, we can actually do something interesting already. And by the way, do you know what I want to do? You know what's something interesting you can do in the, this is called the foreign exchange market. By the way, this is called foreign exchange. Okay, oh sorry, no, still no idea. Okay, and let me tell you what I want. How come? Oh, okay, I realized one thing. Okay, I cannot, I'm supposed to use this. I want you to realize one thing. Can you see there is a difference or not between now and 2019? Can you see there is a difference? Can you see there is a difference? Now is 4.66 and then 2019 is 5. So there is a difference, right? So what do you think when you have a difference in the foreign exchange market? What do you think when you have a difference? When you have a difference, you can make money lah, if you know how. Yep, kind of like more X, more, I mean, it's either more expensive or less expensive. You can get more, you can get less. You know, when you have a difference, that means you can make money if you know how. All right. So this is something I want to make you be aware of. Okay. Okay. So 2019. Okay. 2019. Let's say you have 1,000 SGD. Okay. And then somehow you convert to yuan. So based on the 2019 rate, this is the rate. So you get 5,000 yuan. Right? You get 5,000 yuan. And then let's say you did not spend anything, right? You just keep this 5,000 yuan under your pillow. Okay. And then now you go and exchange your 5,000 yuan, okay, back to SGD. Okay, back to SGD. Okay, and you realize that your this 5,000 yuan, you can get more SGD, right? Because this 5,000 you divide by 4.66 now. So if you divide by 4.66, what do you get, by the way? Can you help me out with your calculator? 2 decimal places, please. So what's the answer? 5,000 divided by 4.66 now. Hello? Okay. Okay, 1072.9 some more. 96. Okay, good. Enough. Two decimal places. Right? Told you, right? 2 decimal places. Right? Can you write it properly? I already give you the blank space for you to fill up, and then somehow you just mess up my screen. You just make my life hard. Okay. Okay, good. So yes. Thanks for your helping. So by the way, you get back this if you did not spend a single yuan. Okay, so that means can you see that you actually make money out of this? Okay, how much more SGD you get? So you just take this minus this, so you get 72.96 SGD more. So I mean you make a profit of this. Okay. So so basically this is so-called in your favor. Okay, in your favor means you make profit. Okay, if it's not in your favor, that means it goes against you, you will lose money. Okay, so some people they just predict. Okay, they predict. Doesn't mean they will predict correctly. Okay, they just predict. Okay, what about now it's 4.66, right? So I also don't know whether you should buy yuan or you should buy SGD now. I really don't know. Okay, I don't know whether this one SGD is going to exchange less yuan later on or more yuan later on. But some people they just want to make money out of this prediction. Okay, if they guess right, then they make money. If they guess wrong, then they lose money. Okay, but based on this I call it hypothetical scenario, you make money. Okay, you get more SGD. Okay, so there are people who just keep doing this daily actually. Okay, by the way, this is called a forex exchange or forex market. Okay, forex. Okay, I'm not asking you to play this forex market. I'm just telling you such thing exist. Okay, there are people who just predict and they make money out of this. I'm not asking you to do it. Okay, I'm just letting you know about such thing exist. It's just like Bitcoin and then of course some other stupid coins. All right. Yeah. So I think we don't have enough time to finish all, but at least we finish 6. Okay. At least we finish 6. Okay. We spent a little bit more time on the harder questions. All right. That's why we end up not finishing 2 PDFs. Okay. While we managed to finish 1 PDF. Okay. By the way, the number of PDF we can complete shouldn't be an indicator of how well we progress. All right. The most important thing right now is for you to understand. Okay. I make sure you understand. Okay. Then we talk about progress. Okay. If you don't understand, we shouldn't move forward. Okay. We shouldn't. Okay. Okay. So, and by the way, we are already 2 chapters or 2 topics ahead of your Sec 1. Anyway, I'm going to start the next chapter in our next lesson. All right. So get ready for harder questions to come. Okay. All right. So yeah, good to see you. Okay, I will see you face to face during our next lesson. I will give you some the next homework. I will send you the link, and then you just do it online and then submit online, and then you'll be marked immediately, and then you will get a score. Okay. 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 So I will see you face to face. Bye bye. Take care.